Hello again. This is Stephanie Hines with ELD Tidbits number 15. So our last accommodations that I want to talk about are strategic seating and a peer partner with the same home language. These are two that I struggle with, and I'm still playing around to find what's best for each student. And of course, the students continually change as they grow in their English, and so their needs for strategic seating or working with a peer partner with the same home language vary. There's a lot of issues and things to consider when working with these accommodations. So for strategic seating, that can mean they could sit pretty much anywhere in the room that's going to help them learn. Usually it's to have them sit close to the teacher, wherever the teacher is producing the most oral language output, so that they can focus on the teacher's voice and be able to show if they understand and get help if they need it. I know a lot of the students, they really like it when the teachers come and help them one-on-one, even if it's just for 30 seconds or so. That just helps boost their confidence and helps them feel like they can do it. Having a peer partner with the same home language there can be pros and cons for that. So if they have a peer partner with the same home language, they're able to discuss with each other the concepts in the home language. They're also able to make a friend that speaks the same language as them. And for a lot of our students, they feel so nervous when they are put in a class where they do not have anybody from either with the same home language or even just a friend from ELD, because we do have a few students who are the only person in our whole school who speaks their home language. And so then it just comes down to, do they have a friendly face in there with them, someone who kind of knows what they're going through and knows how difficult it is to learn a content class in English when they're still learning English. And so, I've played with many different things of having just 2 students in a class, having like a group of 3 or 4, to having like a big group in a class where I go in and help. And, honestly, I'm still trying to figure this out, and it's very dynamic, because when they have other people who only speak English in their group, that kind of forces them to practice their English. But then they at least have one person who speaks their home language, hopefully, or a friend from ELD class who can kind of give them that moral support. Now, sometimes there are students who speak the home language, but they're not willing or able to help. And because it's more work for them to be helping and supporting a peer. And so we need to be very careful with that, because sometimes parents don't want their child helping others, and sometimes they're fine with it. And sometimes the students also, they just get tired of being always asked to be the one to help our multilingual learners. So it's a little bit of a moving puzzle and trying to figure out what's best for the students. I would really say dynamic grouping is probably the best, where you're changing who they're working with so that not one student is always asked to help, and so that they are also forced to use their English with some of the people in their group, but still have that support to fall back on. And so it's a little tricky, like how many multilingual learners do we put in a class, and how many of them, what they need. And it's really on an individual basis. So yeah, but it does help them. And having to be the only student in ELD in a class is very, very frightening for a lot of our students. I've had students in tears when they go in a class for the first time at the beginning of a semester and they see nobody in there that they know. And so, yeah, that is the accommodation of strategic seating and peer partners with the same home language. So hopefully, if you have any ideas, please let me know for what works or has worked with our students. All right, well, thanks, and hopefully these accommodations have